You're watching the ACC on ESPN. Tonight, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish bring a 2-game win streak and a number 25 ranking to Chestnut Hill to take on the Boston College Eagles. Alongside longtime ACC head coach Dino Gaudio, I'm Rich Hollenberg. Dino, just 1.5 games separating the top 7 in the ACC standings. The Irish looking to join North Carolina, Florida State, and Louisville as the only teams thus far with 9 league wins. And the Fighting Irish are led by newly minted National Player of the Week, Bonzie Colson.
Well, Bonzie Colson's coming off a spectacular week. 27 points, 16 rebounds against Wake Forest, 33 and 13 against Florida State. In the latter few games, Rich, Notre Dame has gone almost exclusively to a small lineup, and it's really benefited Colson. Now, we're going to take a look at Notre Dame's floppy entry into motion, where the guards on the baseline come off of the down screen set by Beecham and Colson. And then this is an entry where Notre Dame gets all 5 guys above the foul line, and it really spreads the defense. So 5 guys beyond the three-point line. Look how the defense for Florida State is stretched out. And when you look at the bottom of your screen right here, number 3 Beecham, a 38% three-point shooter. Pfluger, a 40% three-point shooter. There's no help defenders. Colson, the back cut down the lane. No help, the finish. And man, has he been good.
He has been a handful, and one of the big reasons why they've been so successful, certainly one of just 7 players right now averaging at least 16 points, at least 10 rebounds. He takes the opening tip, but it goes to the Boston College Eagles wearing their home whites. Your officials, Jamie Luckey, Ed Corbett, and Tim Comer were underway at the Heights. And the first shot of the game is from the freshman Kai Bowman, who has been scintillating from beyond the arc in his last 4 games.
Boy, a good start for Boston College. Their confidence has been down the latter few games, and the freshman has really led them, as you mentioned, Rich.
71% from 3 over his last 4 is Kai Bowman, the 6'1 freshman out of Havelock, North Carolina. Here's Colson and his first touch. Beecham fires a 3 and matches the first 3 of the game for VJ Beecham. Notre Dame coming in, winners of their last 2, 19-7 on the year, 8-5, and right in the thick of things in the ACC.
Well, Jim Christian and BC have been searching for a consistent third scorer to go with Bowman and Robinson.
Bowman tries again and hits again. 2 for 2 for Kai Bowman.
Usually freshmen this time of year, February 14th, they're hitting the wall. This kid has been scintillating as of late.
He's only gotten better over the course of the last 2 to 3 weeks. Here's Pfluger getting the start. Beecham, too strong, and the rebound goes to Jerome Robinson. Another score, the 4th leading scorer in the ACC.
You know what's good about the defensive possession, Rich? Jim Christian told us they got to keep the Notre Dame guards out of the paint, because that's how they create offensive opportunities for shooters on the perimeter.
Jamie Luckey whistles the first foul of the game. That's going to go on number 15, Mo Jeffers. There's Jim Christian. 3rd season in Boston College, 14th overall as a head coach. He was a 2-time MAC Coach of the Year, the all-time leader in win percentage there, but he's really struggled with this Eagles program the last couple of years. They went winless last year in the ACC. This year, small steps towards success. 2 wins already in conference.
Well, he has good pieces right now. Jerome Robinson, a sophomore. Kai Bowman, who's hit 2 shots already, a freshman. Good building blocks for him to carry this program forward.
Here's Matt Farrell, top of the key, short. Scramble for the loose ball. Pfluger comes away with it, but throws it out of bounds. That's the first Notre Dame turnover. It'll be Boston College basketball. And they don't turn the ball over very often, do these Fighting Irish. They play a beautiful brand of ball, led by their head coach, Mike Bray. 17th season in South Bend, 22nd overall, owner of 474 career wins.
And you know what, Rich? He coaches confidence better than anyone in America. He lets the guys play. He believes in them. Boy, miscommunication defensively by Notre Dame, but Notre Dame on the offensive end, they play relaxed, and it's because the guy on the sideline, Mike Bray.
Farrell guarded by Bowman. Here's Colson, his first shot. And the National Player of the Week picks up where he left off from his last 2 games.
Well, really good pick-and-pop offense. Boston College hedged hard on the ball screen. It took a little too long for Jeffers to get back to him.
Nice look inside. Jeffers with the left hand. You don't see much offense normally from Mo Jeffers, but he looked good there, the 6'9 grad student out of Washington, D.C. See that 5-out offense with Pfluger cutting down the lane.
Exactly, Rich. Check the spacing out, and that enables drive to the baskets like we saw right there.
Unmolested to the hoop, Rex Pfluger gets his first two, a 6'6" sophomore at a modern-day high school, one of the great high school powers on the West Coast.
And Notre Dame changes defense, goes 2-3.
Bowman is now 3 3-pointers and 9 points tonight.
I know one thing, whatever defense you're in, you better find out where that redheaded guy is right now.
Ky Bowman has 3 30-point games already this season, one of just 4 freshmen to accomplish that feat. Beacham hangs, can't hit, gets his own miss. And he misses again. The Eagles looking to push, and Vastoria is going to get whistled for the foul.
You got to stop the ball in transition defense a little higher than that. You got to meet him up by the three-point line and get him to change direction before he gets into the lane. Notre Dame has to be careful, Rich. They want the game to be in the 80s. They want to score a lot of points. But like Mike Bray was telling us yesterday, they have to do a better job. It's improving, he thinks, their defense, but it's got a ways to go still.
Robinson knocks down the first one, the 6'5" sophomore out of Raleigh. Mike Bray also told us yesterday he was probably going to hold the shortest practice in Notre Dame program history because his team plays so many minutes. He only plays about 7 guys. They log so many minutes, and they're in a really tough stretch now. They need the rest.
Rich, this is their 4th game in 10 days, and a reason for that was, if you remember, the North Carolina game got moved a day to Sunday because of a waterline break in Chapel Hill. So 4 games, 10 days. He said we might go 35 minutes of practice yesterday.
Great look from Vastoria to Colson. Colson has 4. Steve Vastoria playing in his 108th consecutive start. A nice bucket at the other end. Good offense so far from the Eagles.
Really good offense. Ball screen, the roll man, and Notre Dame didn't have a help defender in the lane and help on the roll.
Connor Tavey's first 2 of the game for the Eagles. Here's the freshman Sterling Gibbs. TJ Gibbs. Sterling's his brother. He's got a couple of brothers who played college ball, but TJ is on the floor for the Irish right now. It's a 17-9 lead for BC in front of their home faithful.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And in part by Degree Deodorant, it won't let you down. And the new Volkswagen Golf All-Track, soon to be everywhere.
Dame Fighting Irish 17-9. Ky Bowman's averaging close to 18 a game his last 15. He's halfway there already, Coach.
I'll tell you what, Rich. Shooters know the shots for them before the ball even gets there, so they do their work early. The 3 in the corner, off the screen, and inside out against the zone. Man, the young guy is greased right now.
3 for 3 for 3. For Ky Bowman, number 0 for Boston College. As a team, they're shooting close to 86% from the field, and Ky Bowman putting in yeoman work, almost 38 minutes a game over the last 7, but it's paying off in point production in just about every other offensive category.
And the staff loves the young guy's work ethic. You know what, Rich?
Taking it strong and gets fouled.
You got to love the game hard if you want it to love you back. In other words, you got to put time in. This kid does. So he spends time in the gym on his shot, and then the game rewards him.
TJ Gibbs at the line. This is going to be the first free throws for the best free throw shooting team in the country, 81%. Gibbs has made 18 of his last 19 and making 19 of his last 20. This is a team that is difficult to play against because if you get down and you have to foul, pick your poison.
Exactly. And you know what, Rich? They shoot the ball so well. You're out on the perimeter tight on them. And Mike Bray told us yesterday they worked a lot on driving the ball, put foul pressure on the defense so that we get to the free throw line.
Bowman, a little bit of a mismatch guarded by Colson, and he can't take advantage. First miss for Ky Bowman.
Rich, that's the same play he hit the corner 3 on. Notre Dame did a better job of adjusting. The adjustment was they switched Colson onto him.
There's Colson, guarded by Tavey, and they switch. Jim Christian said they're going to switch 1 through 5 tonight. Six on the shot clock, no good. Bowman grabs the rebound and wants to run. Turner. Yes.
That's a good sign for Boston College because they needed that third score. And Jimmy Christian said, we want it to be A.J. Turner. Good sign for him. Let's see if that gets him going.
A.J. Turner's really been struggling. Hasn't scored more than 5 points in any of his last 5 games, but he already has 3 tonight. Vastoria will go to the line. The foul's going to go on Robinson. Well, you're splitting hairs when you talk about terrific free throw shooters on this Irish team, but if there is one, it's Steve Vastoria, shooting 91% from the line, 70 for 77 on the season.
Amazing. First in the ACC, 12th in the nation at the free throw line. This is a guy you have to make sure you guard without fouling.
And we already said Mike Bray doesn't have a very deep bench, so these guys are on the floor most of the time. Who do you foul?
Rich, I wish I had one guy that made. I'd take Gebin at 77% as my leading free throw shooter.
We haven't seen Gebin yet, but he's a 6'10 junior out of Lithuania, and he shoots it close to 80%.
You know what? Those foreign big guys, good skill set, those guys make free throws.
Boston College up 7. They've led from the opening tip. Try to force it inside, loose ball out of bounds. It'll stay Boston College ball with 16 on the shot clock.
I was about to say a rare turnover, which it wasn't for A.J. Turner because he's first in the ACC in assist-turnover ratio.
9th in the nation in that category. Nice look inside. Tavy got free.
And that's a nice pass from A.J. Turner on that one. I'll tell you, Richard, let's see Notre Dame with the same energy that we saw them with on Saturday. Of course, Florida State, big game.
Colson double team, passed out of it. Pfluger.
And you're seeing, you know, you ask yourself, how are you going to guard Bonzie Colson and with who? Well, when the ball went into the post that time, Boston College, double team. Colson, nice job of kicking it to the weak side to Pfluger. And because he's such a good three-point shooter, Rex Pfluger, 40%, you have to go out hard on him, and he has the diversity in his offensive game to drive the ball.
On a lot of teams, Rex Pfluger would lead that team in free throw percentage. He's 71%, makes his first one. He has 3 tonight, making just his second start this season as we see Austin Torres for the first time, and Bonzie Colson will get a breather on the bench. You mentioned the somewhat lack of energy for the start for this Notre Dame Fighting Irish club. How much of that has to do with playing on the road in a gym that clearly is not full to capacity?
Well, as a coach, you say, hey, it doesn't matter, but you know what? Now that I'm an analyst, it matters. It does. Packed arena at Notre Dame against Florida State, big win. So you got to bring the energy. That's what it's all about.
That ball goes awry, turnover for BC. Here's Farrell. Jordan Chapman, number 25 in white, guarding him, seeing his first time on the floor.
Really good ball screen defense by Kai Bowman right there. They have to keep, the guys in the white shirts have to keep Notre Dame out of the lane.
10 on the clock. Farrell, fadeaway, good.
Wow, tough shot. You mentioned it, Rich, the fadeaway. The fade is what created the space for him to get the shot off.
Matt Farrell averaging 14.2 a game, one of 4 Fighting Irish players, averaging over 14 a contest. Not many teams have that kind of balanced production. That ball goes inside to Popovich, and he's fouled. Nick Popovich, a 6'11", 243-pound freshman out of Bosnia, averaging 6.3 points a game.
Played with the under-17 Serbian national team that won a bronze medal. 2014 was on the World Championships and played on the under-18 team as well. This guy has a lot of foreign experience.
There's Chapman. Bounce pass to Tavy, knocked away. Here come the Irish looking to run. Farrell leaves it for Vastoria. The question is, why didn't Steve Vastoria dunk that?
Hey, easy now, easy. He's got one in his career, but we'll get to that later. But wonderful fast break by Notre Dame. And you know what, Rich? Good spacing, which created the avenue for the pass for the Irish.
Nice leave, Popovich. Yes, off the window. Nick Popovich is hers too. BC, 7 of their last 8 field goals. Offense not necessarily the issue for the Eagles.
Notre Dame a little late on the rotation on the ball screen right there that time.
Gibbs found the seam. Can't get it to go. Torres the offensive board. And he can't get the putback. Popovich the rebound. A 5-point BC lead. They've led from the opening tip. Rich Hollenberg, Dino Gaudio. The Eagles looking for the upset in Chestnut Hill.
Boy, is Kai Bowman playing hard.
11:13 to go. We have a timeout on the floor. Steve Vastoria getting the payoff on the Notre Dame fast break.
Look at the spacing right here. The dish. Wonderful read by Farrell. The layup. The finish. Vastoria.
Up on the fast break before we went to timeout. The question is, and I say this with my tongue firmly planted in my cheek, why didn't he dunk this, Dino Gaudio? You go back 3 days, and Steve Vastoria, it has been well documented, not in practice.
Vastoria steals it back. There goes Steve, goes up, and dunks it! The first dunk of Steve Vastoria's collegiate career!
Not in practice, not in warm-ups, and certainly not in a game. We witnessed history.
Here's what I think happened, Rich. When he stole the ball, they opened that back door down there. Little breeze lifted him up. That's amazing. It's 6'6". That's his first dunk practice in a game. But you know what I love about this kid beside the dunk? 4 years at Notre Dame, paid his dues, waited his turn, got better every year. Boy, has become a special player for Mike Bray.
He's a Jerry West finalist for top shooting guard in the nation, and one of those veteran Irish players who's just come up through the system. Every year getting better, every year more production. 2 free throws by Bowman. Keeps the Boston College lead at 26-19, coming up on 11 minutes to go.
Boy, I like how they're trying to front Colson in the post.
Here's that 5 out with Colson rolling to the hoop, and instead Vastoria cans the 3. Vastoria has 7. The lead is now cut to 4 for BC. And matching threes, that's Mike Segay, a seldom used freshman out of Bloomfield, Connecticut.
I'll tell you what, Boston College shooting the basketball really well. Now, if they could do a better job of guarding the perimeter, take away the threes from Notre Dame. They're doing a pretty good job on Bonzi Colson.
Extra pass, Colson. And that's a rare Notre Dame turnover. Well, this Boston College team, as you said, certainly doesn't look like a team that's lost 9 in a row, and this will help them with the lead.
Well, this is a much improved Boston College team, Rich. We knew that. And Jimmy Christian, everywhere he's been, he's won. It's taken him time to build the program. He's laying a good foundation at BC. The problem is in some of these games, like right now, they have a 7-point lead. They have a little law where a 5-minute law costs them. They can't recover from that.
Great hands by Vastoria, slicing into the middle of the defense and forcing the turnover. Here's Beecham.
Really good transition defense.
Gibbs will go back to the line. Well, coming up on Thursday on ESPN, we'll have number 11 Wisconsin, the top team in the Big Ten, battling Michigan, who's won their last 2. That's coming up at 7 Eastern on Thursday. Then when we're done at the Chrysler Center, we take you out west to Eugene for a big Pac-12 matchup between the Utes and the Dylan Brooks-led number 7 Oregon Ducks. That's Thursday night basketball on ESPN. Oregon beat Utah 2 weeks ago in Salt Lake City, 73-67. You think they're the top team in the Pac-12?
I know they waxed Arizona, but I'll tell you what, I still like that Arizona basketball team. But you know what, Rich, the Pac-12, Arizona, UCLA, Oregon, all 3 of those teams are potential Final Four basketball teams.
2 for 2 again for TJ Gibbs, 29-24. Boston College with the lead on 25th ranked Notre Dame. Here comes Vastoria, no numbers, he pulls it out. And he's wide open at the top of the key. Doesn't miss that without a hand in his face very often. Steve Vastoria shooting 39% from 3 coming in.
Well, Boston College was fortunate on the defensive possession because that's the one time they did allow dribble penetration, which left Astoria open.
And both teams started off so well offensively, now cooling off a little bit.
I think both teams' defense, especially Boston College, for the most part, pretty good against an explosive Notre Dame team.
Turner. Got it to go. A.J. Turner has 5.
I'll tell you, if he gets rolling, Boston College, just not in this game, but moving forward, can be a much better basketball team, especially on the offensive end. They need that third scorer behind Bowman and Robinson.
Youth in the backcourt for Notre Dame. The freshman Gibbs, the sophomore Pfluger. The feed into Colson, and that's automatic.
You know what, Rich? Popovich was fronting him. Sometimes your best post defender is the guy guarding the ball. In other words, pressure him so he just, he can't window shop. He takes his time and looks and throws it in there. More pressure on the passer.
Popovich can't take advantage of the height advantage. Astoria into the lane, short, and Popovich has the rebound. Coming up on 8 minutes gone by, Boston College has never trailed. Colson the rebound, 16 double-doubles this year for Bonzi Colson.
Leads the ACC, and the only guy in the ACC averaging a double-double this season.
Colson working on the young Popovich. And we're going the other way. Timeout on the floor, 7:40 to go.
Really good seal off. Bonzi Colson forces him up the lane. Man, what a delivery by Astoria.
And ESPN2, just like last season, our college announcers jump into the NBA and vice versa. Dickie V and Bill Walton paired up to do Pacers Cavs. Carol Lawson, PJ Carlissimo doing Iowa State K-State. Jay Billis and Doug Collins have Duke Virginia. And Dockich teams with Van Gundy for Knicks Thunder. And it's a good thing, Dino, that us play-by-play guys don't get paid by the word, because none of those play-by-play guys are going to get in very much commentary in those games.
Well, listen, Dockich and Van Gundy have been going at it already on Twitter leading into the game.
Out of the timeout, Notre Dame can't hit the 3, and Gebbin grabs the rebound, but we're going the other way.
Yeah, good call by the official. Gebbin had his forearm into Jerome Robinson right there, pushing him on the offensive rebound.
Here comes Kai Bowman, leading all scorers with 11 so far. Bowman. Little step back, created some space, can't hit.
And Notre Dame switched the dribble handoff on Kai Bowman.
Farrell pulls the trigger, and that's off the rim.
And you know what, Rich? Every shot by Notre Dame they missed have been short.
Bowman, silky smooth, 13 for Kai Bowman.
Kid came in as a scorer, over 1,800 points in North Carolina last year.
Only Markel Fultz, Dennis Smith, and Malik Monk have 3 30-point games as freshmen. That's what Kai Bowman has done as well. That's pretty heady company for number 0 for Jim Christian.
Boy,
there's the steal.
Defense.
Garland Owens. Nice look. Robinson finishes at the other end.
Boy, Jim Christian loves that. Defense leading to offense. Owens in the passing lane, wonderful deflection, the pitch out. Jimmy would like to patent that right there. Great help in the gap, good deflection by Owens. Yeah, fastest way to get that ball off the floor. Let's pass it, fellas.
This is a pretty speedy Boston College team, but with that said, Notre Dame does look a step slow at this point.
They really do, Rich. And you know where you see it? You see it on the defensive end. And on offense, like we talked about, a lot of their short shots have been short.
Well, Notre Dame, uncharacteristic so far in this first half. They're first in the country in free throw percentage, but they play a very smart brand of basketball. They value the ball, They don't turn it over a lot, second in the country in fewest turnovers per game, under 10. They're second in the nation in assist to turnover ratio. It's just a beautiful brand of basketball to watch.
It really is, and their spacing so good because they have shooters on the perimeter.
Pfluger hangs and can't hit. Vastoria gets the fresh 30.
That's
and a knockdown three by Matt Ryan, who's checked into the game.
That's one thing you can't do. You can't give the Irish second and third opportunities.
Now, you brought up something interesting when we were talking about this game. You said BC kind of models their offense after what Notre Dame likes to do.
Well, I think Jim Christian, as we see the backdoor back screen lob, Boston College, very good academic institution like Notre Dame. Jimmy and Mike Bray are going to recruit the similar kind of guys that could do the job in the classroom. Watch the back screen right there by 15 Jeffers. And that's Bonzi Colson's responsibility, Rich. If you're a guy setting a back screen, you have basket responsibility. Bonzi should have dropped down in the lane to take that away.
Robinson, a 70% free throw shooter, misses the first.
Jerome Robinson, brought in high school in Raleigh, North Carolina, same high school as my idol, Pistol Pete Maravich, growing up. Pete's dad, Press Maravich, was the head coach at NC State at the time, and that's where Pete spent most of his high school years, Broughton High School.
If Jim Christian's going to turn things around at Boston College, it's going to be on the shoulders of Jerome Robinson and Kai Bowman, two kids that he got from North Carolina, the heart of ACC country. He got them to come up north.
No question, and that's what you have to do. You have to get guys that maybe Duke isn't recruiting, Carolina isn't recruiting, steal those guys, and you know what? He did. I told Jerome Robinson last week, if I was coaching in North Carolina, you never would have left the state.
That's right. Jeffers left hand, and Mo Jeffers will go to the line and shoot.
And Rich, that's the other thing Boston College needs on offense. To be a good offensive team, you need a screening game and you need an inside game. And Jeffers, if he could deliver a little bit on the inside, either with a basket or at the free throw line, that speaks volumes for Boston College's offense.
Well, he's only a 52% free throw shooter, but he knocked his first one down tonight. 3 points for Mo Jeffers.
And this kid's had success. A 2-year starter at Delaware. In 2013-14, Delaware goes to the NCAA tournament. He appeared in 18 games for Delaware that year.
Of course, Delaware was the first head coaching stop for none other than Mike Bray. Here's Gibbs. Can't get it to go from close range. Owens lost control.
That was a foul.
9-point Boston College lead, 4:39 to go. Farrell lost it and turned it over.
Their fifth turnover, Rich.
And a little bit of frustration starting to show on the face of Rex Pfluger and the rest of the Fighting Irish. It's 1-1 the rest of the way for Boston College in the bonus.
See, because Notre Dame can score so easily, this is what Jim Christian was talking about. When we have a lead, maintaining it or pushing it a little further. Right now is when Boston College has little laws and allows the opponent, in this case Notre Dame, to crawl back in. Kai Bowman signed to play football, I should say committed to North Carolina. Then after he decommits as a wide receiver in North Carolina, Alabama offers him a scholarship, and he tells Saban no.
I didn't think you told Nick Saban.
No, I don't think so either. He wanted to play hoops.
He's got 15 tonight to lead the Eagles. Looking for an upset in the ACC. They're up 40-29. And wouldn't this just be in keeping with the ACC this entire season? You get a big win like Notre Dame did against Florida State, and then you lay an egg the next time.
Well, Rich, there's no easy outs. We've seen it all season long in this league. Teams at the bottom of the league can beat other really good opponents.
As we mentioned earlier, Boston College, 2 wins in the ACC this year. That's 2 more than they had last season. Vastoria. Nice job using the rim as the extra protection.
Nice move by Vastoria, but you know what I like out of BC? They're running the Notre Dame shooters off of the line. Notre Dame just 3 3-point field goals, 3 for 11 thus far.
Bowman, short. And Farrell grabs the rebound.
And you know what, Rich? Kai Bowman could have got that shot later in the shot clock.
No Colson on the floor for Mike Bray's Irish. Vastoria fires from 3, it's short.
Again.
And with 3 minutes to go, a timeout on the floor for Jim Christian, whose Boston College Eagles have been firing on all cylinders. They're up 9 on the 25th ranked Irish. And we'll see your top 5 players, and Dinawol has his as well, so we'll have that discussion coming up later. But you see on the left side of your screen, that's Big Daddy Bonzi. And on the right side, his son, Bonzi Colson. Now, there's a connection with Boston College. Why? Well, Bonzi Colson Sr. played his college ball at Rhode Island, and who did he play with? In 1988, they went to the Sweet 16, and there was a sweet shooting guard named Jim Christian on that team.
Well, how in the heck did Jimmy not get Bonzi to Boston College with that connection? But the dad was Bonzi Sr., much more of a defensive player. And we kidded Jimmy Christian, says, because you never threw him the ball, Jim.
Tom Pender's the head coach of that Rhode Island team.
See, you're seeing Colson's diversity on defense, too. He's able to keep A.J. Turner in front of him. When you have a big guy that can switch out and guard guards like Bonzi Colson, it helps your defense as well.
Here's Colson with the touch. Nice look inside to Vastoria, but again, good defense by the Eagles.
Numbers for Boston College. Boy, great decision by their freshman Kai Bowman. He couldn't get all the way to the lane. I love the pull-up.
And here's another turnover. The bounce pass. Robinson finishes. Is this a Boston College team that's lost 9 straight, Dino?
Boy, sure doesn't look like it. You know what, Rich? Their offense is just leading off of their defense. Very atypical for a Notre Dame team. Here's the pull-up by Kai Bowman. And then defense leading to offense. Boy, what a wonderful pass from A.J. Turner.
Jerome Robinson has 9. Kai Bowman leads all scorers with 17. And this Boston College offense has been out Notre Daming Notre Dame.
They really have. 15 field goals, 12 assists on those field goals for the Boston College Eagles. And you know what, Rich? We had these guys last week. They were up 7 in that game. And that's been the story of the season for them. They've had leads. They just haven't been able to hang on.
And I love what Jim Christian said when we asked him about how do you keep your team engaged when you're in a 9-game rut like they've been. He said, I show them winning plays. I have to be as positive as I can. High percentage offense, good stops and forcing late clock shots on defense.
Confidence is everything.
Colson forced it up and got it to go. 8 points for Bonzi Colson.
And you ask yourself, the kid's only 6'5", but you know what? 7'2" reach. Great extension on his shot.
Not too much of a stretch to say he's got kind of a Charles Barkley at Auburn type of a game.
I like it. I do. He shoots the ball better from the perimeter than Charles did when he was at Auburn. One more.
Here's Bowman. Not this time. But they got the loose ball, and then Colson picks it up. Coming up on 1 minute to go. Notre Dame has trailed from the outset. Here's Farrell. Got a 3 to go. First 3 of the game for Matt Farrell, who has 5.
And a great possession by Farrell. He penetrated and kicked it out. And you know what, Rich? He didn't stand, hustled back outside the 3-point line, and they found him.
Matt Farrell came into this game 15 of his last 31 from 3. And there's an easy layup at the other end for Boston College.
big stop for BC. See if they can get into the halftime up 10.
The defense has not been there for Mike Bray's Fighting Irish. About a 6-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock, and Notre Dame's going to use every last second they can. Farrell again. Back-to-back threes from Matt Farrell. And let's see what Boston College can do with time running out. 3 seconds, and they got it. And why not?
It's been that kind of half for the Boston College Eagles.
Jim Christian's Boston College Eagles have come out firing on all cylinders. Kai Bowman leading the way with 17.
He's been sensational in the first half. 5 for 9 from the field, 3 for 7 from behind a three-point line. And what a big shot by Garland Owens.
We have ourselves an upset in the making. BC on their home floor up 10 on 25th ranked Notre Dame. We're going to send it to the ESPNU studios, Anish Shroff and Deb Antonelli. Welcome back to Super Tuesday, presented by CenturyLink, the ACC on ESPN, where the Boston College Eagles have put the 25th ranked Notre Dame Fighting Irish on upset alert. And if you are a fan of offense in college basketball, this is the second half you want to tune into. Both teams firing on all cylinders. It's just that Boston College is doing to the Irish what the Irish usually do to everybody else they face. They are out-executing Notre Dame by a large margin. Rich Hollenberg, Dino Gaudio at Chestnut Hill, and Boston College. If you took the names away from these statistics and flip-flopped them, you would think that it was Notre Dame on the right side, not Boston College.
I believe I would have said it, Rich, if it was a blind resume. But I'll tell you what, the ball is finding the open man for BC. Wonderful passing. How about 13 assists on 17 field goals? Terrific back screen, misdirection play. And you know what? They're also doing it in transition. That's why they're shooting such a high percentage. And boy, when it's going in for you. That put the Eagles up 10 right before the half right there. And what a half the young Redheads having right now. Ooh, 17 points for Kai Bowman, the freshman.
Their largest lead was 13. They lead by 10 to start the second half. Notre Dame with the ball. Irish looking for their 20th win on the season. They would move to 9-5, but they have got their hands full against a good offensive Boston College club. There's Colson starting off the second half with a bucket. He's in double digits with 10.
Well, I love what Mike Bray did. He says, fellas, we're coming out the second half. We're going right inside the Bonzi. They did, and he delivered.
Nice lead for Jeffers. And Jeffers is usually not the offensive juggernaut that you're seeing tonight. Mo Jeffers has 6.
Well, you know what, Rich? He said a slip screen, and what I mean by that is he acted like he was setting a screen, and before he did, he slipped to the basket, and they found him.
Jeffers has 6. Garland Owens has 5. Everybody chipping in for the Eagles so far. Here's Gibbs. Out to Farrell. Farrell had 2 threes at the end of the first half, but he missed his first attempt of the second. He steals it away. Farrell, strong to the hole, missed it, but Gibbs follows it up.
And you're seeing a Notre Dame team come out of the locker room with much more aggressiveness, much more energy than they did to start the game.
Here's Chapman. No field goal attempts in the first half for Jordan Chapman, 25 in white. Jeffers looking to go to work on Colson. And the foul is going to be called on Colson.
See, Rich, because Notre Dame is fearful of Boston College three-point shooting. When the ball goes into Jeffers, they're going one-on-one on the inside. I like what Jeffers did. Drop step, got a piece of the paint, put foul pressure on Bonzi Colson.
Mo Jeffers hit his first 2 free throw attempts, just a 52% free throw shooter. And he's 3 for 3. Things are really going right for the Eagles. One of the more unorthodox free throw attempts that you will see from Mo Jeffers. Shoots it from his chest.
You know what I do like about it? Elbow in, nice follow through. Young guys out there, you should shoot the ball right as if you were shaking hands with somebody and then lift your elbow up. That's exactly where you should release it from. Your thumb's almost on your ear.
I like that. I hope my sons are listening right now. Here's Colson. Showing off the array of moves. Bonzie Colson has a dozen.
The first time he shot the fadeaway, the second time right there, the shot fake and the step through.
Here's Robinson. Little wheel route and had it picked off by Farrell.
See, you know why Jerome Robinson made his mind up he was going to pass it before he did.
Stolen away by Bowman, but he stepped on the sideline.
Now, if you look at Bonzie Colson inside, you love the diversity of his offensive game. So not many post guys could catch it near the three-point line. There's the up and under move. And you know what, Rich? He uses the board on the first shot. And there's the replay right there. Because when you use the board, you can absorb contact better.
I don't know if Bonzie Sr. could have pulled off that move in his Rhode Island days.
If Christian would have threw him the ball, he would have.
Feed the beast. They go back to 35. Colson on the slip screen. And Bonzie Colson will go to the line and shoot.
Well, there's no question they decided in the second half we're going to go inside to our, National Player of the Week last week. Coming off of games of 27 points and 33, 27 against the Demon Deacons and 33 against Florida State.
Those 33 points he scored last time out on Saturday, the most for a Fighting Irish player since Luke Harengoaty's 37 back in 2010.
And Rich, we talked to Mike Bray about, hey, what did you see in this kid when you recruited him? And he said, when he was on the EYBL circuit, I could get the words out. His offensive efficiency was outstanding against some of the better players in the nation.
Stolen away by Beecham. Gibbs can't convert at the other end, and a foul called on the Irish.
When he was in high school at the EYBL circuit against the best players in the country, Mike Bray said, man, he played with a chip on his shoulder. He was always undersized, Bonzie Colson, always had something to prove, and still at Notre Dame, he's doing the same thing.
A frustrated Gibbs goes to the bench.
Now here's where Boston College in the past has struggled a little bit. They need a good offensive possession.
Robinson? No. And even though it's only a few minutes into the second half, you get the feeling like Boston College is in a little bit of a danger zone if that offense goes into a slump. The defense, though, picking them up.
Absolutely, and this guy right here is an elite athlete, Kai Bowman. We know he was a high school football player, was outstanding with offers from North Carolina and even Alabama for football. He could be an elite defender. Now, Boston College goes zone 2-3 on baseline out-of-bounds plays by Notre Dame.
Pfluger flashes to the nail. And a foul call. That's going to go on Chapman.
You Syracuse guys know how to attack a zone, right? You guys sitting in that zone for all them years.
Trial by fire. Syracuse, a tough loss last night on Big Monday in overtime to the Louisville Cardinals. No look. Bowman finishes. 19 for the freshman Bowman. That backcourt plays with a lot of confidence.
They really do. Terrific talent in the backcourt for Jim Christian.
Farrell.
Rich, when Farrell drives, he's almost always driving for others. He always wants to pass it.
Nice duck under by Pfluger, his first bucket of the second half, and he'll have a chance at a three-point play. 15:50 to go, timeout on the floor.
Well, BC scored in a lot of different ways. One of them is in transition. Nice dish by Jerome Robinson.
Will feature a pair of ACC teams, Duke taking on the Virginia Cavaliers.
Tough to score against the Cavaliers, and our colleague Doug Collins doing that game, I believe.
That's right.
How about the proud papa he is with his son Chris, probably coach of the year in the Big Ten at Northwestern.
That's right. Northwestern was a team that Mike Bray's Fighting Irish beat earlier this season, but they had that signature win on the road at Wisconsin. Here's the ACC standings, as you just saw. In the top 7, it's a pretty muddled group still. North Carolina, the class of the conference so far at 9-3, but a win here for Notre Dame gives them a 9th win heading into the final week or so of the season, but they've got everything they bargained for and then some. Down 7 right now to Boston College. They have not led in this contest. And there's another big shot.
And you know, Rich, that's the same play that Kai Bowman made the first basket of the game with, and I love Jim Christian going back to it.
What a night it's been for Bowman. 22 already. We might be looking at his 4th 30-point effort of the season. And there's a matching 3 by VJ Beacham.
Now, Boston College doesn't want to trade baskets with this Notre Dame team because this is an explosive offensive team.
Here's Tavy, who switched from the number 2 to the number 30 at halftime. Not quite sure why. Word is that he tore his jersey in the first half. So now Connor Tavy is wearing number 30 for Jim Christian's Eagles. There he is in the middle of the defense, and he got turned around, and the Irish have an easy bucket.
Well, the scouting report on Beacham is you got to guard when he drives his second move. In other words, when he gets to the bottom of his drive, he's going to give you a fake and step through.
And Tavy hits the deck. 14:27 to go. Rich Hollenberg, Dino Gaudio, the rest of the ESPNU crew. Chestnut Hill. Will it be the site of yet another ACC upset?
And Rich, Tavy's another guy on this team that, you know, at Western Michigan in 13-14, they went to the NCAA tournament. His last year there, he averaged 11, almost 12 points a game and 6 rebounds. Missed last year with a broken foot. But this is a guy that Jim Christian's looking for to try to get some point productivity from.
Just a 69% free throw shooter. He missed his first one. And Colson checks back in for the Irish.
And came in as a good three-point shooter, but really struggling this season from behind the three-point line. Just 4 for 26 on the year.
2-possession ball game. Boston College up 6. They've led by as many as 13. Losers of 9 straight are the Eagles. The Irish came in winners of 2 straight. And a chance to make it a 1-possession ball game goes by the boards. Kick ball out of bounds by Pfluger. It'll stay Boston College ball.
Rich, when Notre Dame's making threes, they're making threes usually off the pass. Beacham that time eyed his guy up, bounced it, and then elevated off the dribble. A much lower percentage 3 off the dribble than when you catch and shoot it off of a pass.
Pfluger goes to the bench. Austin Torres checks back in. So instead of being small, this is about as big as the Notre Dame Fighting Irish could be.
And they go zone.
And the foul's going to go on Torres.
And like with any zone, you mentioned it earlier when we were kidding about Syracuse. You want to get the ball in the middle of the zone, and that's what BC did on that possession.
Here's Bowman. He's been the offensive star. Chapman, spot up. No. And he's been really cold his last couple of games. Transition 3 from Farrell. His 3rd three-pointer of the game, 11 points for Matt Farrell, and we have ourselves a 1-possession ball game.
Danger zone for BC. And you know what? You like changing defense for Mike Bray because sort of got Boston College out of the flow, if you will, offensively.
Popovich can't finish from close range.
Boy, you got to make those. We talked about last week we had him. He has some really good looks at the basket. Popovich can't finish, but man,
Farrell ties it up. Mike Bray likes to talk about the I-95 guys that he recruits. Matt Farrell's one of them, the junior out of Bridgewater, New Jersey. Back-to-back threes, ties it up for Notre Dame. College, the Eagles and the 25th ranked Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And I don't think it's luck of the Irish, Dino. I think it's the magic of the Irish. The last 2 years, Mike Bray has engineered 2 magnificent runs to the Elite Eight.
They really have. And if Karl Anthony Towns wasn't posting up like he was when they played Kentucky a couple years ago, they might have went to the Final Four.
Last year, they beat Michigan, Stephen F. Austin, Wisconsin to get all the way to the Elite Eight, only to lose to North Carolina. And Matt Farrell was a part of that team, but this year he is one of the key parts of this Irish team.
I'm telling you, one of the most improved players, not just in the ACC, but in the nation. And you know what, Rich? When they need a big basket, man, this guy gets it for him. And you know what Mike Bray said yesterday, like there's been a good rhythm to the roster. In other words, when guys graduate, other guys step up and pay their dues first, and Matt Farrell has done that.
Popovich had it swatted. Saved by Vastoria. Here's Farrell, look out, he'll pull the trigger. Oh, and the follow by Coulson.
Boy, you can't ball watch on those three-point shots. You better locate the man you need to box out, and 35 is one of them.
An 8-0 Irish run, their first lead of the night.
And you know what, Rich? We talked about Mike Bray going to the 2-3 zone, and they've gotten to stop every possession.
And an offensive foul on Boston College. And this is one of those infamous droughts that we've seen Boston College engage in.
Exactly, and boy, Popovich has to take that thing up there strong. Two hands, power the ball to the rim. And then when that shot's up, don't ball watch. You better find out where number 35 is if you're BC.
Coulson with 14, Farrell with 14, and Vastoria with 9, leading the way for the Irish, who with a 61-59 lead have their first lead of the game in Chestnut Hill. Coulson working on Tavy. And Bonzie Coulson's feeling it.
Well, Jimmy Christian's got to ask himself, when he catches it, do I send a second body, a second defender at Bonzie Coulson?
16 points, 4 boards, and a 10-0 run for the Irish.
Rich, they've gotten 6 straight stops out of the 2-3 zone.
Vastoria out to Beecham. No. Jeffers the big rebound. Boston College needs a bucket in a bad way. Robinson in traffic. And Jerome Robinson will go to the line and shoot 2.
Well, one way is to slow the drought. Let's get a couple at the free throw line. See, Rich, when you have young guards like Boston College does, Bowman a freshman, Jerome Robinson a sophomore, somebody has to get control of the game right now for BC.
College by as many as 13, but they have stormed back in the second half to take a 4-point lead, and Boston College is in one of their droughts that they have experienced seemingly all season long. 3 for 9 in the second half compared to 17 for 29 in the first half. And a lot of that credit has to go to the Notre Dame defense. What does Boston College have to do to right the ship?
Well, I'm sure Jim Christian told these guys in a huddle, risk, like Notre Dame in his zone, they're not in charge of our shot selection. We got to attack the zone with the fast break. Now in the half court, let's go short corner or middle of the zone. Let's attack gaps like this guy at the free throw line just did. That's why he's at the line. And we can screen the zone. But fellas, let's show patience. Let's move the ball from one side to the other. And then finally, when we shoot it, go get it. Offensive rebound. But we got to follow our principles of how we're going to attack the Notre Dame zone.
Those 2 free throws end a 3+ minute drought for Boston College's offense.
Some teams see zone and go, wow, man, we got to settle for jump shots. Absolutely not. Now, there's a double team. I like the adjustment Jim just made on Bonzie Coulson.
Beecham for 3. Balanced scoring as usual for the Irish. Beecham's in double digits with 11.
I tell you, Robinson contested the shot, but I would say hand to ball. You got to get up tighter on him, chase him off the 3-point line. When you contest, just don't put your hand on his chin or in his face. Hand to ball. And that makes you as a defender extend defensively.
Well, Jamie Luckey and Ed Corbett want to talk things over.
Multiple Final Fours out of those 2 guys right there.
They work the ball inside. But the shot goes awry.
And you know what, Rich? That's exactly where you want to get the ball, right in the middle of the zone. And a good look for Jerome Robinson.
Farrell. Fearless. 17 for Matt Farrell.
He's the leader on the floor right now, but you know what? He's the leader everywhere. In the locker room, off the court. And the freshman answers.
Bowman has been the sole source of offense. 25 points for him. And he's quickly approaching his career high of 33 that he turned in earlier this year against North Carolina. Trying to keep the Eagles within striking distance.
Really good help defense by Boston College. Short clock at 5 now.
Astoria, no. Might have been one of the only times we've mentioned the shot clock tonight, Dino. It's that kind of game.
Yeah, fast pace indeed. You know what? BC could have sent the shot clock operator home tonight. We didn't need him for this one.
Turner with the turnover, 9:40 to go. Notre Dame looking for win number 20 on the year, shooting 57% in the second half.
And you know what, Rich? Sometimes it's not offenses and defenses, it's energy and emotion in Notre Dame. Much more energy in the second half.
Led by that young man, number 5, Matt Farrell. Gave it off to Beecham, who couldn't connect on the 3.
And that's a scouting report on Farrell. He drives for others. So when he's penetrating, see him, but stay attached to your man.
Robinson leaves it for Jeffers.
There you go. That's how you attack the zone. Dribble penetration, collapse the defense, and a wonderful delivery with the bounce pass.
10 points for Mo Jeffers, and it's a 3-point Notre Dame lead.
There's that floppy action we showed to start the game. Down screens, ball screen.
Astoria. There's Colson working on Jeffers. He can spin either way. Around and out that time.
And a really good box out by Connor Tavey.
A 3 will tie it up for the Eagles. Turner tries it. Can't get it to go. But a foul is going to be called on Notre Dame as Jeffers fought for the offensive rebound.
And one of the ways we talked about attacking the zone, you got to get in between the gaps, like in between two defenders. There's a wonderful split of the zone, which lifted the middle of the defense up. Austin Torrey's got to stop the ball in the bounce pass. Really good zone offense, Rich, by BC.
Robinson, 6 assists to go along with his 11 points, and Mo Jeffers, the recipient there, he's got 10 points. That ball goes out of bounds. It'll stay Boston College basketball.
Now, because Notre Dame plays man-to-man on all baseline out-of-bounds situations, that's why you're seeing the Irish in man defense right now.
Robinson aggressive to the hole, and he'll go to the line. The foul will go on Pfluger.
Tough matchup for Rex Pfluger in terms of lateral quickness on Jerome Robinson. They're tough to guard the ball right now in today's game with the hands-off defense, especially on a hard driver like Jerome Robinson. Good genes. His dad played at South Florida, played 9 years professionally overseas. And this kid's doing it all over the floor, Rich. 5 rebounds, 6 assists for Jerome Robinson.
Missed them both that time. Out of bounds, it'll be Notre Dame basketball. And you can't make this a free throw shooting contest against the Irish. Tops in the nation in that department.
Well, BC was 9 for 10 in the first half. Just 5 for 8 in the second thus far.
8 minutes to go. Boston College led for the entire first half, but went into a slump to start the second half. They find themselves down by 3. Here's more of that 5-out offense from Mike Bray. And Beecham knocks down the 3.
Boy, pretty good defense, better offense.
That's 4 triples for VJ Beacham.
Wow, when you're 6'8" and have a high release, hard to contest that shot.
One of 4 1,000-point scorers on this Irish team. Now Colson trying to check Bowman. Tipped the ball, turned it over. Astoria found the slightest seam to the hole and took advantage of it, and Steve Astoria will go to the line when we come back. 7:09 to go. The 25th ranked Irish up on the road in ACC play.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And in part by the new Volkswagen Golf All-Track, soon to be everywhere. And Dove Men Plus Care. Care makes a man strong.
Dino Gaudio, 25th ranked Notre Dame, up 6 on BC. And tonight after Ohio State and Michigan State, don't miss the Valentine's edition of SportsCenter at Night with John Buccigross and John Anderson. They'll have all the highlights and breakdowns from the college and NBA hardwood, hockey, spring training news, the NFL, and everything else. That's SportsCenter at Night over on ESPN. Call it double date night with the 2 Johns, Bucci and Anderson. And it's not 2 guys who do the job for Mike Bray's club, it's 4, the big 4. Beacham, Colson, Farrell, and Vastoria. They're all averaging at least 14 points a game. And Dino, they're one of only 3 teams that have that in their program.
Rich, when you're coaching, you got multiple scores. Boy, what a luxury that is. Because if somebody has a bad night, you got 3 other guys that'll do it for you. And this kid right here, can't put him on the free throw line because that's what's going to happen. 91% from the free throw line for Steve Astoria.
He's 4 for 4 tonight. So that 91% is actually going up a tick for him. Robinson, no. Good tap back rebound by Tavy.
Wow, when you're struggling to score, you need easy baskets. None easier than second shot opportunities.
Here's Colson, guarded by Tavy. Stolen away. Here's Turner at the other end with the easy throwdown.
And a team that's struggling to score gets an easy basket on a second shot, and now a steal and a run out, and now we have a 4-point basketball game.
First meeting of the season between these 2 teams. Last year wasn't nearly as close. Jim Christian's Eagles lost to Mike Bray's Irish by an average of 27.5 points.
Well, Rich, this is a much improved BC basketball team. Even the games they're losing, they're in every game. They're all close.
And now a chance to make it a 1-possession ball game for the Eagles.
Okay, let the offense create a shot opportunity for you.
Bowman leaves it for Robinson. Tried the pocket pass and it was picked off by Colson, and the foul is going to go on Tavy.
Boy, as good as Tavy was on the offensive rebound and put back, you got to catch that one there, son. Catch it with your eyes. In other words, see the ball go into your hands. He started to make his move before he even had the basketball. That's what Jimmy's saying. Catch the ball. See if they could put another stop together here for BC.
Farrell.
Boy, what a hard driver he is.
Does he get ahead of steam or what?
And he's going to the basket. It's like a running back going in there. Shoulders low. And you know what? Once he gets his shoulders past you like he does Kai Bowman right there, the help defender comes over. But Jeffers isn't able to get in between him and the basket.
Farrell's first free throw attempt of the night is good, giving him 18. He's 4 off of his career high, which is 22.
Rich, I think he's clearly the most improved player in the ACC, and he might be the most improved player in America.
Now 19 for Matt Farrell, staking Notre Dame to a 6-point lead, 5.5 to go.
Irish back to the zone.
A win here would mean a 3-game winning streak for the Irish, and they're heading into the easiest part of their schedule. Next up, they go to NC State, then they have Georgia Tech, followed by a rematch with these Eagles. They could really make some hay in the ACC. But they're going to have to start with a win tonight, and it hasn't been easy in Conti Forum. Astoria, the floater. No. It's been a while since Bowman's got a good look. There he is with the ball. 0, gives it up to Robinson. 4.5 left.
Notre Dame doing a good job of extending their defense out to shooters.
Tough shot by Robinson, cleared by Beecham.
And I like what Matt Farrell does right there. Let's slow it down, and Bray with the timeout.
Notre Dame, 1 timeout remaining with 4:17 to go, looking for win number 20 on the season. "16 double-doubles by Yante Maton. That young man, Bonzi Colson, has 16 double-doubles this season. He's going to be in the conversation for ACC Player of the Year. And close games, no stranger for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. They're 10-3 in games decided by 8 points or less. Dino, as a matter of fact, they started the ACC slate by winning their first 5 by 7 or fewer points. Then they went into a little slump, lost 5 of 6, but now they're on track for their 3rd straight win.
And I'll tell you what, Rich, coming out of the huddle right now, if I'm Notre Dame, then you want to go like Mike Bray started the half with. Play through Bonzi Colson. He's 8 for 10 from the field thus far. And if they double him, he's a willing and able passer. So let's see where Mike Bray goes with the time. He runs horns action, double high screen.
Ten to shoot. Farrell found Colson all alone.
And that's the 5-out offense that we talked about, where ball screen action, there's no help defenders in the lane.
Excellence in execution for the Irish. Loose ball. Robinson's got it. Goes right at Farrell.
No.
And they call the foul. Well, we talked about it at the top of the telecast. Mike Bray's gone small the last few games, and they're on a 2-game win streak with this 5-out offense.
Well, what happens, Rich, is you have all 5 offensive players outside the 3-point line. Now you got pick and roll action. So when Colson rolls right here, no help defender. Tavy concerned about Astoria on the perimeter, the 3-point shooter, and they give up an easy basket in the lane.
They called the offensive foul on Robinson on the other end, his 4th. Coming up on 3 minutes to go, and a 6-point Notre Dame lead. And they give it right back.
Like Eddie Corbett with a little bit of a sarcastic call on the walk right there.
Mike Bray's team has an impressive NCAA tournament resume coming up for this postseason. 1st in the conference in strength of schedule. Only 1 loss this year to a team outside of the top 20. That was that 2-point loss that they suffered at the hands of Georgia Tech.
You know what, Rich? Jerome Robinson, he was close to the basket, but it wasn't a good shot. You know why? His shoulders weren't square to the basket.
Colson. Soft touch, no. Good fight by Pfluger trying to get the loose ball, and it will be Notre Dame basketball.
Yeah, Chapman has to fight a little harder to get Pfluger off the backboard right there. You can't give a great shooting team like Notre Dame 2nd and 3rd chances. You got to create the car crash on box outs. Go hit the offensive player, drive him out of the lane. I would tell my guys, you get a foul called on you for boxing out, I'll eat that one right there.
And now the Irish content to take a little bit of the air out of the ball. Up by 6, 2:20 to go. Colson. Here's Farrell. Around and out, and Jeffers rebounds. Bowman. Do they count it? Yes, they do.
I don't know, Rich. I thought he called it out front. You might be right, but I think they called the foul at the elbow. Let's see.
It looked like Tim Comer was signaling good basket. That might have been pointing to the floor. That might have been my bad.
Boy, what a strong take right there.
Maybe if this was NBA crossover night,
that would have counted. That would have counted. Well, you're seeing Kai Bowman at 6'1", 185. What a strong young man he is.
26 points for Bowman.
Now, you know what? You just can't let Notre Dame just walk it up the floor and burn 25 seconds. Let's see if Boston College picks them up, extends their defense a little bit.
It's been a terrific night for the freshman Kai Bowman. 27 points to go along with 9 rebounds and 3 assists in 35 minutes of play. Well, coming up on Thursday on ESPN, we'll have number 11 Wisconsin, the top team in the Big Ten, battling Michigan at 7 Eastern. Then out west we go to Eugene for a big Pac-12 matchup between the Utes and the number 7 Oregon Ducks. And we talked about the terrific-looking resume for Notre Dame going forward. Right now, Joe Lunardi has them as a very strong in. He has 10 teams in for the ACC. How about the Pac-12, though? You've got the top-heavy top 3 in Arizona, Oregon, and UCLA. What do you think of these Utes?
Well, I like the Utes, but here's the problem for Utah. 1-7 against top 100 teams. They struggled against the top 25. Now, Rich, I will say this. Bad losses. I called the San Francisco game. For Utah, one of their better players out of the game.
Kyle Kuzma.
Kyle Kuzma didn't play in that one, and they went down to a much improved San Francisco team in the Diamond Head Classic.
Four-point Notre Dame lead with the ball, under 2 to go. A win would give them 3 straight and send the Eagles to their 10th straight loss.
Boy, good
and
deflection.
Colson lost it.
Good deflection by Jerome Robinson.
Chapman. No. That's a big miss for Jordan Chapman.
Well, 10 days, 2 weeks ago, he was 9 for 9 from behind the three-point line, and that was a great look for him. Guard your yard now. In other words, guard your man. 3 feet on either side of you. Keep the ball out of the lane. You can defend here with 10 seconds.
And look how spread the floor is for the Irish. 7 to shoot. Farrell's going to have to go to work. The one more to Beacham. In and out. Jeffers the rebound. Still a 4-point game. They don't need a 3. Bowman to the hole. And he'll go to the line and shoot 2. Aggressive offense from Kai Bowman.
Boy, the freshman has emerged as like the go-to guy on this basketball team. And you know what, Rich? He's just aggressive and he asserts himself. And right now, he is playing with tremendous confidence.
It's amazing to think Jerome Robinson, his backcourt mate, is the 4th leading scorer in the conference. But over the course of the last 15 games, and now counting tonight's 16 games, it's been Kai Bowman's offense. Averaging close to 18 a game. Tonight he is 27.
He really has. He's a very good three-point shooter. We're seeing he is a strong driver as well. 7 for 7 from the line right now for the freshman Kai Bowman.
Now 29 points for Kai Bowman, working on his 4th 30-point effort of the season.
Now 2-point game. Boston College just needs to sit down and defend. And let's see if Notre Dame goes right back inside.
Both teams in the bonus. Important to remind you, Notre Dame, the best free throw shooting team in the country. 81% as a team. 5 to shoot. Vastoria from the wing. It's off the mark. Pfluger fought for the offensive rebound and Beacham came away with it. And Rex Pfluger making the effort play gets Notre Dame an extra possession and the foul.
You know why, Rich? They tipped the basketball. They kept it alive. I would tell my guys, if you can't grab it, just get a hand on it. Right there, that's what Pfluger does. And Notre Dame secures the offensive rebound.
B.J. Beacham at the line. Remember, it was Pfluger in the NCAA tournament last year against Stephen F. Austin that had that tip-in that ended up sending them on to the Sweet 16 as Beacham knocks down the free throw.
And how about the graphic we just had? Like, I don't know if they'll get it, but Harvard in 1984, the highest free throw percentage in the history of our game. They're close.
Oh, they're now 15 for 17 as a team from the free throw line. 88% from the line tonight, and they're up by 4. Robinson, no. Bastoria comes away with it. And now you're sending one of the best free throw shooters in the country to the stripe.
Well, you have no choice right there. When Bastoria grabs it, you got to get him with 15 seconds to play.
It'll be 2 shots for Steve Bastoria, who is a perfect 4 for 4 from the line tonight. 74 for 81 on the season. And if you're doing math at home, that's about 92%.
We're Rich, assuming he makes both of these, and I think that's a pretty good assumption. And BC, plenty of time. Drive the ball up the floor and attack the basket. Now, Jimmy Christian, the coach right here, has 1 timeout left. Score it, timeout, so we can set up our defense.
3 of the next 4 away from home for the Boston College Eagles. Next up, they go to Tallahassee to take on another top 25 team, the Florida State Seminoles. Bowman, no. Colson, the rebound. And that should just about do it for the Fighting Irish, who trailed by 13 in the first half and stormed back in the second half, up 6 now with 8.7 left.
Well, you see the quality of this Notre Dame basketball team. Multiple scores. At the end of the game, they go to the free throw line, make free throws.
Mike Bray talked about how they're really only about 7 deep. In your estimation, in your experience, can a good group of 7 guys like Notre Dame has make a deep run in the NCAA tournament?
No question, Rich. They absolutely can. And I think that if they stay healthy, and like Mike told us yesterday, that, hey, listen, we're cutting practices down. This was our 4th game in 10 days. And I'll tell you, you're seeing the character and the fiber of this Notre Dame basketball team.
The 13th 20-win season for head coach Mike Bray at Notre Dame. They get number 20 on the road against the Boston College Eagles. Your final score, number 25, Notre Dame 84, Boston College 76. It was a terrific night for Bonzie Colson with 20 points to lead the way, but he had a lot of help with Matt Farrell chipping in with 19, B.J. Beacham at 16, and Steve Bastoria at 15. For Bonzie Colson and the Fighting Irish, another win. For Dino Gaudio, I'm Rich Hollenberg. Now we go to the studio.